Lucie, congratulations! You, Simon Wiesemann and Shao Liang just had a new report out where you look at the Indo-Pacific region and the arms industry in the region and to what extent this industry is self-reliant. So could you tell us, to start with, what does it mean if a country is self-reliant, and then why would it strive for it?
Thank you very much for the question. The way we define self-reliance in the report is a state's capacity to design and produce military goods for its armed forces with limited foreign assistance. So really how much a country can rely on its own companies for procuring weapons for its armed forces. And why would a state do this? As you just asked, there are three motives that we can identify. Those are the pursuit of wealth, of power, and victory in war. For this, we rely on an author called Keith Krause, and we just reused his work. But you could sum it up as economic and strategic considerations. The state will want to develop its own arms industry for economic reasons, because it generates economic benefits in the country. It creates, advanced technology and also employment. And strategically, it allows the state not to rely on an external supplier for its own armed forces.
And what did you find? Who's topping the ranking now?
So in the report, we ranked 12 countries according to their self-reliance, based on how much they would produce their weapons domestically, the size of their arms industry, but also emerging military technologies. And China dominates these results by far. It is really way ahead the second and third most self-reliant countries, who are Japan and South Korea.
And is there anything sticking out in your view? Did the results surprise you?
So the report didn't generate any surprises in itself. We know that China has been investing in its military modernization for years, so it's not so surprising that they are so dominant in terms of self-reliance in the region. However, what our report does is put some figures on this self-reliance. We devised a way to measure and assess self-reliance based on 3 indicators, so I believe our report does provide some interesting data for those interested in the topic.
And would you say, is this actually a new trend which we are seeing, or is this something which has been around for a while?
So in the region, in the Indo-Pacific region, countries have tried to develop their arms industry for decades, actually. This self-reliant ambitions and goals have been around for years. However, between the moment when you state and you set the objectives for yourself that you want to develop an arms industry as a country or as a government, and by the time you can actually see an outcome, it would take decades because it requires significant investments, developing technology, skills, receiving transfers of technologies from abroad, so that takes quite some time. So what our report does is really measure the outcome of policies that have been declared for years already.
And when you think about this, if I understand you, the countries are becoming independent, they buy weapons from their own arms industry. Is there any concern you have about this trend?
So the way you could look at this in terms of concern, or at least something to watch out for, is the transparency issue. Many international regimes, when it comes to armament, look at arms transfers. So that would be, for instance, the Arms Trade Treaty that monitors arms flows between countries. So that helps you to see what are the weapons transferred between one country and the other. But if countries procure more from their own arms industry, those armament developments won't be captured. So I would say it really warrants close monitoring and hopefully maybe having countries be more transparent about what they get from their own companies rather than just what they get from abroad.